Aloha, and welcome back to Hawaii Travel Made Easy, the podcast that helps you plan your dream Hawaiian vacation. I'm Marcie, a Hawaii travel expert who has visited the islands more than 40 times, and today I'm excited to introduce my friend Kim Fidler, who just got back from Oahu. She lives in Utah and has lots of experience traveling around the world with her family. Are you ready to hear her honest thoughts on Hawaii? Let's jump in. Hey Kim, thanks so much for joining me on Hawaii Travel Made Easy today. I've been so excited to hear about your trip to Oahu with your family. Can you give us a quick rundown of your trip?
Yes, we had the best time. I'll just start out with that. But we did Oahu's North Shore. We stayed for 7 nights, and it was my family. So it's 2 adults and then my 3 kids. We just had a birthday, so I'm trying to remember how old they were at the time of travel. We had an 11-year-old and 12, 11, and 9-year-old. So 2 boys, 1 girl, and we just had the best time.
Yay, I'm so glad to hear that. Why did you choose Hawaii for this trip? And what were you most excited about before you left?
So we actually let our kids pick where we went. It was for their spring break, and we gave them 3 choices. As you may know, Epic Universe is open at Universal, and I had been able to go, and so the kids were super pumped about it. So I'm like, oh, we could do that, or we could do New York City because we've always wanted to do that. And we'd planned a trip for the previous fall break that at the last minute I was like, this is too stressful. I ended up canceling it, and we just stayed home and did more chill stuff. And so I thought they would pick one of those because we had already talked about them so much. I was like, or we could do Hawaii, which was kind of on the back burner for us a little bit. And they unanimously were like, Hawaii, we want to do Hawaii. So obviously I was excited about that. I was like, oh, okay, well, we'll have a nice relaxing trip instead of a crazy packed stress trip. And I think I was just most excited for them to get to experience Hawaii. I had been twice before, but my children never had. My husband had been once before. And it was really I was excited for them to get to experience the culture and the beauty of the island.
I love that. Had you been to Oahu before?
I had, yes, 2 different times. The first time I stayed part in Waikiki and part on the North Shore. And then my husband and I went right before we had our first baby. It was kind of our baby moon. And we just stayed on the North Shore the whole time.
Nice. So it sounds like maybe that's sort of a special spot for you guys.
It is. I just love it. I love that piece of the island.
I love it. So where did you stay this time?
So we stayed at a condo that was right at the entrance into Turtle Bay.
Okay.
So the condos were, I can't tell exactly when they were built, maybe 70s or 80s. They are older. And they're all individually owned, of course. We did it through VRBO, and it was a perfect layout for our family. We wanted, because everything's so expensive there, and there are a few other things I'll talk about a little bit later, but I wanted to be certain that we had a kitchen for the week, especially where we were staying for so long. And we also had 2 bedrooms. Our unit was great. They had, the second bedroom was really a loft upstairs, but underneath the loft, it was a surprise when we got there. They had a single bed just under it. So it's kind of a little mini Harry Potter Hawaii bed. And
nice.
My daughter was like, that's mine. I'm like, perfect. So everybody really had their own space. It had 2 bathrooms. So it was, 1 shower. So it's 1.5 baths. But for us, with our small immediate family, it was perfect.
Nice. Oh, that sounds fantastic. Okay. What were your first impressions when you arrived? Was there anything that surprised you right away?
So it was just lovely. It really was. And we went at a really unique time because this year, as you know, there were 3 really bad Kona storms.
Yeah.
So we went right after the second Kona storm.
Okay.
And to the point where they had a boil water alert at our condo the day before we checked in.
Wow.
That's how lost we were. Now, of course, the major storm had been a few days before that, but they were still on high alert kind of for everything. And so we wanted to be very mindful. That's why I was like, we need to have a kitchen. We need to make sure we're stocking. But Costco, we didn't want to impact areas that were suffering and trying to recover.
Yeah.
We just wanted to be very conscientious about that. So where we had, and there was still some groundwater. And so we were like, we wondered whether or not we should go. And it's always that battle of,
Yeah.
if you're not helping? Are you hurting? And then you have small businesses that do hurt if you don't go. It was just kind of a whole thing. But when we got there, it was so beautiful. And yes, there were some parts of the island where the water was still brown, and I mean, it is what it is, but
Yeah.
past that, it was blue, and the skies were just so beautiful. And obviously, like, Hawaii is so green, and I loved it. So I think I was just thrilled. I'm like, oh, it's so perfect. It's so beautiful.
I love it.
The devastating storm, it was so beautiful.
Yeah, I know. I knew that you were going that time, and I was a little bit panicked for you when I was, watching all the storm coverage, and I had been fielding all these emails and DMs from people that were debating whether or not they should be doing their trip. And so it's always interesting to hear people's thought processes on like what makes them decide to go or what makes them decide to stay. And so I think you were definitely on the right path about like figuring out like if it was going to be helpful or harmful. And you have to think about those small businesses too, and then make sure that you're not impacting local people that are trying to, get their own food and get around and everything. So
Right.
you were in such a tricky area of the island that got hit so hard. So
Right. Well, and that's what was unique too. So we were in Turtle Bay, and the nearest city is a city.
yeah,
Little
the town.
Kahuku. And they were largely unaffected. They were wet, but they
Yeah.
didn't have the flooding. But 15, 20 minutes down the road in Haleiwa was terrible. So we didn't even look in that direction. We were like, we're leaving that alone. And then Laie in the other direction was also affected. And again, 10, 15 minutes away. But the way the island is configured, it's just kind of this little point
Yeah.
that wasn't hit as badly. So obviously they got water, but it wasn't. So, I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, we wanted to be really careful. And yeah, we just wanted to be really careful. And we felt really lucky that that was the little spot that we picked. Because you have all these VRBO owners. And I'm sure you were seeing the same message boards that I was seeing, where some owners were like, we're sorry, we really can't refund you.
Right.
Like, you have to come. And there were others that were like flooded units that couldn't rent out.
Man.
It's just a nightmare, depending
Yeah,
on
totally.
little pocket. And it felt so random. I'm sure it's not random, the way the island is set up and with flows, but it felt very random to me, who doesn't know the area super well.
Right. Yeah, it's nuts. I'm glad your area wasn't affected as much. Okay, but let's talk about some happier things. What were some of the top highlights of your trips? Like, did you have any wow moments that you won't forget?
I think the wow moment for me really was our time at Waimea Valley. It was incredible. Even though I had been to the North Shore 2 times, I had never been to Waimea Valley. The first time I went, I was on a business trip, and we tried to go, but we got there too late, so we couldn't do it. And then the second time was on my baby moon with my husband.
Yeah.
And seriously, like 2 days before, I had like broken my tailbone, like before we flew out to Hawaii.
Oh no.
It was like an excruciating pain. So I was like, there was no way I could do it. So we just kind of like stayed at the resort for the most part when I was on that trip. So I had never done it before. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's a waterfall, it will be pretty. But no, like, it was stunning. And of course, there'd been a lot of rain, so the waterfall was really going.
Yeah.
We were able to swim. They had the lifeguards up there. You have life jackets that they require. So it was a very memorable thing for our whole family to get in. But more than the waterfall was just the plant life was so beautiful and in full bloom. And a couple days before, we'd been at Kualoa Ranch, and our guides were all natives to the islands, which was so lovely.
Yeah.
And she had talked about, okay, I can't remember. Is it Hapa? The life, the good energy life? She used a whole word.
Oh,
I'm sorry to put
good
you on the
energy.
spot.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
She talked about how the plants have the good energy.
Oh,
and so
do
she's
you mean like
"We've
mana?
got
Was it mana?
Mana. Yes.
Okay.
Mana. Yeah, thank you. I knew you would know. I just threw you off when saying the wrong word. So when I was in Waimea Valley, I was like, this is mana. This is what this is. Like, it just breathes new life into me. And we did luau, the toa luau.
Yes, that's my favorite luau ever.
It was so good. It was so good. So like, we went there during the day, had some time to kind of like rest and regroup and come back that night. And I was like, I don't even know where they're going to do it. And it was in this beautiful covered pavilion. They had the big grassy area outside. And I'm like, we're surrounded by paradise. Like, it just felt so special. That was my very favorite. And it was our last night that we did the luau.
Nice.
This is the peak. It doesn't get better than this.
I love it. Were you guys able to like get cleaned up and stuff at Waimea Valley before the luau, or did you kind of just go straight from like swimming?
Well, yes. No, we had time to clean up. We were really like 15, 20 minutes away from the luau. So going back and forth was very easy for us.
Nice.
I know there were a lot of people at the luau who would come from Waikiki, Honolulu area. So they probably maybe would have stayed, but like, it was easy. We intentionally had a really relaxing trip.
Okay. I love that. Was there a specific activity or a beach or a tour or anything that really stood out? I know you mentioned going to Kualoa Ranch and that you spent some time in Kahuku. Anything that stood out to you?
Yeah. One thing at each of those areas, actually, it's part of their, like, we did the full day tour at the Kualoa Ranch. And my favorite was the movie tour. I just didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But like, they take you. So of course, Hawaii and Oahu in particular has a very heavy World War II history. You go into the actual bunker and it is ginormous.
Yes.
Up in there, both from World War II and both from all of the filming there. I just wasn't expecting it. It really blew me away. I'm like, this is awesome, you guys.
Yeah.
My kids were obsessed. It was so neat. And it was really interesting too, like to get to be in the bunker and see that. And then where we were staying on the North Shore at Turtle Bay, they had the marker where they had used the radar to detect the planes coming in.
Oh, cool.
For the bombing of Pearl Harbor. So, I mean, it was kind of, I was like, guys, remember that? This is like, that's why they have this.
Yeah.
It's just really interesting. And then Kahuku Farms in Kahuku is this little family-owned and operated farm. And while we were there, like last minute, because I didn't want to over-plan anything, I'm like, we'll just see the vibes. Like we did, we had our stuff that we for sure knew we wanted to do and for sure had planned. Yeah. And everything else, I'm like, we'll just fill it if we feel like it. And if not, we'll leave it open. But I saw that they had a farm tour. And so I was like, oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And it was their first day open after the flooding. We were the only family on the tour. We had our own private tour.
Oh, wow.
It was incredible. So, they had all the fruit and she's like, eat it. It's all for you. Like the papaya tastes different there.
Yeah.
We had never done the cocoa, like cacao.
The cacao.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
Cacao.
The cacao.
So like Son picked it off the tree. She cracks it open. We're eating the little seeds. We got to try all of their homemade things there on the farm. And it was so special. I would totally recommend that tour to anybody, even with more than just your family. Even if you're with a regular tour, it felt really intimate. And just the way they do things at that farm in particular, like the whole front of the farm, it's the daughter. I can't remember how many generations, but the daughter turned the front part of the farm to be this organic area. So it's like all of the plants are planted among each other because the pests won't jump from one plant to the other. So it's like the avocados by the mangoes by the papayas by the acai. It's one of the only places on the island where they grow and do their own acai bowls, like on site. Like it was just charming. And then they also have the cafe there where they'll take like the leftovers that aren't purchased by the stores or distributors, and they'll make food from their farm that you can buy there. So we did lunch there. It was magical. I loved it. Felt really connected to the earth and food sources, and it was just perfect.
I am so excited that you did that tour because I just did that with my oldest son a couple months ago, and I have been wanting to do one ever since they announced that they were doing it because I love Kahuku Farms. I think their food is so good. And I was so excited to do the tour. And I love that you loved it as much as I did because just all of the fruit tasting, the cacao, just seeing all the plants and everything. I think their farm store is amazing. We always get some of their little pouches of, jellies and jams and sauces and stuff. They have the best salad dressing, I think. And I'm just obsessed with them. So anytime anyone ever goes to the North Shore, I'm always like, you have to stop here. And so I'm so glad that you also had the same experience. So I don't feel like I'm just this crazy like farm girl that's like, oh my gosh, you have to eat at this farm. But I'm like, it's so cool.
But it's so cool. And they have like this huge grassy area that they encourage
Yeah.
you to stay and hang out. They have like cornhole and like all sorts of fun things. Like we were like, this is our day. And it
Yeah.
was one of my kids' favorite things that we did too.
Oh,
So it
that's so
wasn't just
good to
like the
hear.
boring farm tour with mom. Like it really was just delightful. I will say my kids are, I don't think we vacation like a normal family. Like they're pretty cerebral. I'm like, I don't know if everybody would love this, but like we loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. I think, anytime there's anything hands-on, I think that always makes it a little bit more special too.
Yes, for
Plus
sure.
food. I mean, who doesn't like snacks?
Yeah, food.
Yes. Okay, speaking of food, what was the best meal that you had on Oahu and why was it so good?
Okay, this is a loaded question. It's not fair. It's too many to pick from.
Yeah.
I really like one of the best meals, I think kind of unanimously, was the poke bowls from like this tiny little market gas station thing in Kahuku. It was awesome. And you just walked into the little store, walked to the back, and there's the lady, what kind of poke do you want? She's got it all prepped and ready to go. It was delicious.
Nice.
And then we also stumbled upon a really good cafe in downtown Honolulu. It was called Prime Cafe. And so they do everything with like prime rib.
Oh, cool.
But it was so good. Everything was just so good. And yeah, even like if you were to ask my kids, we went to Costco like when we first to the island, and they have, I mean, you go to the back of the store and it's all like sashimi and poke and just like fresh seafood that there's the way Utah could never. It's so sad. But like we got like 2 different sashimi platters during our stay from Costco, and we're like, this is great. Like 5 stars.
I know. Fish is so fresh in Hawaii, and I'm so glad that you got to experience that. I had a friend who was in Kona at the same time that you were on North Shore, and she said they ran out of fish, like in Kona, and that's why she goes to Hawaii, is to eat fresh fish. And because of the storm, they had they weren't able to like go out and fish, and there was just nothing. So I was like, I'm really glad that you got to experience that, because I just felt my heart broke for her,
Yes. Yeah. That's terrible.
Yeah. What about any more excursions or tours that you did that you'd like to chat about?
Yeah, so like I said, we did do the full day tour at the ranch, and we did, we wanted to fill the day. So that one had the movie tour, it has a jungle expedition, and then a farm tour. And their farm tour was very different from Kahuku Farms.
Okay.
It was more like driving through stuff. But one thing that we did on that tour that I hadn't done before was they had the macadamia nuts, and you would crack them and eat them fresh, which was, I had never done that before, so that was really fun. So because it was our first time, I thought it was a really good like orientation to the island and the ranch. So I would recommend it for sure for a first time. But if I were to go back, and all of my kids want to go back, but they would like to do like the zip lining or, the ATVs or something. So I think I would go back and just do something more adventurous, because you do get to go to the Jurassic Park area too, where they filmed the Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Like the is still there. And that was really cool. So that was probably like our biggest like tour excursion.
Totally. I love Kualoa Ranch. It's one of my favorites. On my last trip with my 12-year-old, we did do the zip lining, and it was so fun. And it's just, the ranch is just gorgeous. And this takes you into a part of the ranch that the other tours don't go into. And it was just jaw-droppingly gorgeous the whole time. We've done the UTV tours before, and that is a blast because you get to see all 3 valleys. So it's a little bit different. We've done the jungle expedition. We've done the movie tour. Those are all great. And I feel like every time we go back, I always find a couple more tours I want to do there, because I think they've got like 10 or 12 options. And so it's one of those things that
private island.
Yes, exactly.
Like all sorts of stuff.
I know. It's amazing. So I feel like it's something easy to always have on your itinerary. Every time you go to Oahu, you always can do a half day or a full day there. And did you eat at their cafe, that Pat's Cafe?
So the one that we did included the buffet lunch.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because we did the all day thing.
Right.
It was amazing. It was like all you can eat, like teriyaki chicken, and they had the mac salad that my kids are obsessed with now. It was so good.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah, I'm always impressed with the cafe, because normally I don't ever tell people to like eat at a tourist attraction, but I'm like, the food's legit. So I'm like, I would definitely like for sure plan on eating there.
I feel like Hawaiians do not mess around when it comes to food.
No.
Like, we're going to feed you and it's going to be good.
It's going to be good. Exactly. And plentiful. If you could relive one day of your trip, what day would it be and why?
I would do Waimea Valley, which I feel like I covered
Yeah.
before. If you were to ask my kids, I think that they would do our very last day. So like we flew home that night. We
Okay.
were on like the 7 p.m. or something like that. And we didn't want to be rushed. And so we kind of made our own little food tour on our way back down into Honolulu. And so like we first started at Ted's Bakery on the North Shore
Nice.
and got all the baked things. It was so good. And then we went to get shave ice at Matsumoto's, which was great. That was our first time. We'd been there for a week at that point.
Yeah.
And so we went to the downtown area and it was business as usual and it was
Nice.
great. So that was really fun. And then went to the Dole Plantation just for treats.
That's what I always recommend.
Yeah. Like we were very aware, like the kids wanted the Dole Whip. I wanted my chocolate dipped pineapple spear. And then we went back to Costco for more sashimi.
I love it too. Costco trips. I love it.
That's what they would say.
Yeah.
But I would say the day before where I was just like overwhelmed with Waimea Valley and then closing with the luau. And my kids, their favorite meal of the whole trip was the luau food.
Oh, yeah. Their food's so good.
Loved it. And it's plated. They bring it to you. So it's not buffet, but they bring you extra whatever you want. And it was really generous portions. And the grilled pork and the teriyaki chicken. And it was so good. The Hawaiian rolls were delicious.
Yeah, everything is so good. I feel like they figured it out. They have the secret sauce, you know?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I love it. So every trip has its hiccups, and you know that because you are a world traveler. Did you run into any travel mishaps or unexpected challenges for this trip?
I mean, yes and no, because I would say most of our hiccups were like before. We just wanted to make sure we were planned and prepared. And with the storms, like we wanted to be very sensitive. And so I had reached out to our VRBO owner because that's the other thing. Like I didn't know exactly. I knew-ish where it was, but I didn't know like specifically like where in the path it was or how affected they were. And this was like maybe 3 days before the trip and he didn't get back to me for like 2 days. I was like, I don't even know if we're going. Like,
oh, that's so stressful.
I'm like, are you safe? Are you okay? And of course he'd been working on, taking care of their guests because there had been a lot of like moving around and people being displaced and just making sure everybody was taken care of. So I was a little stressed out about that. But then it ended up working out and we felt good about it. And he was like so lovely. Like the host was so lovely. And then there was still brown water. So obviously we're not like going to be like snorkeling and doing like a lot of the regular beach stuff. In Turtle, the water was not brown, but we still didn't feel like our kids like kind of like splashed in it. But we're like, okay, let's, don't
risk it.
Like, yeah. And there were people in the water, not like a ton of locals, but like towards the end of the trip, like you did start to see like an occasional, but there were like surfers out there. So I would say we had less water time on this trip, but it didn't matter. Like we still just had a wonderful time.
That's good. Did you experience any, did you experience any tourist traps or overrated attractions?
I mean, the Dole Plantation, but we like walked into it knowing that that's what it was. Really, I would say no. And in fact, the ranch exceeded my expectations, not just in like the tour itself, but I'm used to going to Disney parks that are like so efficient, and the way that the ranch has it down, I was like, dang, these guys are not in island time. They are like, it was so well run. So I'm like, the attractions that we did do, I did not feel were overrated.
Yeah.
At all. Everything was great.
Awesome. How did the cost compare to what you expected? Did you have any budget surprises?
I mean, we knew it was expensive, so we did know that going into it. I was surprised though, like their Costco, like every other Costco I've ever been to has milk in 2-packs.
Yes.
But they don't do that in Hawaii. It's just 1 gallon, and it's the same price as the 2 at home. I was like, oh, okay. We can handle that. But like almost everything else at Costco was around the same price as it was here. So that was nice. That little cafe I told you about in downtown Honolulu,
Yeah.
the Prime Cafe we loved. It was over $100 for lunch, and we didn't even buy entrees for everybody. We just like split
Yeah.
like 4 entrees. Like, okay, that was more than I would expect for sandwiches,
Right.
but it was bearable, you know, and all the attractions I'd kind of looked at before, so I kind of knew.
Yeah.
And we prepaid for our condo before. I got a really good deal on airfare, so it was like
Nice.
it was easy. We just ate out once a day, really. We did enough Costco stuff to do
supplement.
breakfast or lunch or dinner, depending on what the plan was.
Oh, nice. And when did you start planning this trip, and when did you start paying for things? I know that's something that people are always wondering of how far in advance they should do that.
Good question. I used a companion flight.
Okay, yeah.
Delta. So because those sell out really quickly, I did that like, I want to say like 9 months in advance.
Okay.
It was pretty far in advance. And even still, like I had to pick my date. I had to shift my dates because of the companion pass. Like,
got it.
We had to pull our kids out a couple days early before their spring break. And then we came home a couple days early because that's when I could use the pass. And that was the most important thing.
For sure.
And then shortly after I booked airfare, I would say I started looking at the condos. I probably did that like 8 months out.
Okay, perfect.
So
yeah, that's great. That's really always helpful information. I think people are always wondering if they should do it in advance or if they should try to do last minute for deals and stuff. And I'm of the camp, I always say do stuff in advance, especially for Hawaii, because you just never know, and prices go up and things sell out. And especially if you have, school breaks and stuff where your dates, then you have that flexibility to try to figure it out. And we've taken our kids out a few days early as well. And usually it's totally fine. It's, you have to think about, the cost sometimes, and it can be significantly cheaper to fly, if you're using the companion fares or miles or points or whatever, like you have to work with all of that.
And I was using all of the above. I used the companion fare, I used the upgrade certificates, I used the Sky Miles, like all of it. Okay? We're throwing everything at this because it's expensive to get to Hawaii unless you're like finding a crazy little deal and don't care. But when you have specific dates that you have to go or a specific window, with our kids, we kind of do right now. So we have to be mindful of that.
For sure. Was there something that you wish you had packed but you didn't, or something that you brought and you never used?
So off camera, we were talking, my family is notoriously underpackers. We travel. I used to work for Delta Airlines, so I was used to like, hey, maybe you're getting on this plane, maybe you're not. I always like to have my stuff with me. So we do not check bags. Everybody gets a backpack, no matter how long we're going. We'll just do laundry. And they're good at it. They pack themselves. We rarely forget something. But I brought way too many swimsuits. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, especially with the brown water.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, like I really needed one. Like we went to Waimea Falls and I could have it was just funny. And we had great pools at our condo. I just didn't really get in the water, but I had the swim, the rash guards and the shorts. So I brought 3 sets of that, and one would have been fine.
Yeah.
Maybe a backup, but that was it. No, we did pretty good. And then, if you need anything, we tried to be really mindful, and because we're not going to go to the local shops at, on the North Shore, period. That's where, the locals need access
totally.
To that, so.
Yeah.
But we knew Moscow was 40 minutes away if we absolutely
for sure
needed something. So.
Oh, that's nice. Let's switch gears. Did you experience any culture shock or moments where you realized, oh, this is different than back home?
Okay, so the one thing that got me, we spent, because we didn't want to spend a lot of time in Waikiki, Honolulu. So we planned one day where we were going to do kind of all of the things we wanted to do there. So that we did. We started at the Bishop Museum, which we loved. It was great. And then we had a tour at Iolani Palace. Oh, excuse me. No. We started at Pearl Harbor. Then we did Bishop Museum.
Okay.
We did with Iolani Palace.
Wow.
So we didn't want to miss our tour. And I'm like, okay, let's get out of here by the Bishop Museum. Let's get over to the palace and we'll grab something to eat. And everything was closed because it was a Saturday. And I'm like, what? She's like, oh, no, it's closed. It's Saturday. I'm like, it's Saturday.
Right.
But it's mostly government workers in downtown Honolulu.
Yep.
And so, maybe that's why Prime Cafe was my favorite. I don't know. I thought it was the only thing.
You were starving.
Yeah, like we need food, but it really was very good. And while we were there, it was very cute. There was one couple in there while we were eating, and then our family, and then another couple came in, and immediately the guy was like, "Chef," and then the chef was like, "Chef," and I guess the chef of that restaurant used to be a cook for the Navy,
Oh,
and they had known each other because the guy who came into the restaurant was like a big time chef in Honolulu. It's
oh,
really fun. So
nice.
it's like the chefs appreciating each other's
Yeah.
work. Every restaurant was closed in downtown Honolulu on a Saturday because it's Saturday.
That's something that I never really thought about, and that is something I should probably share a lot more because I think a lot of people spend a lot of time in Waikiki, but I forget that Honolulu is like the business center. And so if you are doing Iolani Palace or Pearl Harbor or Bishop Museum or anything there, like that is something very good to keep in mind that maybe go during the week if you want
Yes.
more food options or more things to be open.
Yes. And if I had known that, like we could have, Bishop
Right.
Museum, of course, has like cafe right there. But I'm like, oh, like the wait time looked like it was going to be kind of long. And it might
Totally.
be like tricky. Like we didn't plan for that. We didn't
Yes.
expect it. So that threw me off, but we dealt. It was fine. We found
love it.
something.
And if you could do this trip all over again, what would you do differently?
I honestly don't know if I would change anything. We kept kind of a flexible schedule, but I was intentional about like, my first plan was like down day, activity day,
Mhm.
down day, just kind of like staggering. But then with the uncertainty of what would happen when we arrived, we had like our first like 2.5 days were like down days. And
Yeah.
that was perfect. Just getting settled. I mean, we had time at the condo. We watched Jurassic Park the night before we
Oh,
went to the
fun.
ranch. And then, because my kids had never seen it before, and
Yeah.
then they were excited about Jurassic World because they had just seen the set. So we watched
Yeah.
it that night. Like,
Oh, nice.
got lots of downtime. I really wouldn't change anything. I felt like the length was pretty perfect. You could always spend more time in
Yeah.
Hawaii, but like, I don't know. We just really loved it. We were intentional with our planning, our downtime,
Mhm.
and our activities. So it felt like a really good balance.
I love that. Any tips for first-time visitors who might be feeling overwhelmed about planning their Hawaii trip?
Well, it should go to you as their number one resource for sure. You know
Thanks.
all the things. And then not to worry about fitting everything in.
Yeah.
Really make sure they schedule the downtime and just like maybe pick 2 or 3 things that are like, these are our must-dos, and letting everything else just kind of be a surprise and delight if it happens. And if not, just enjoy the beauty of the island and the warmth of the people. Like we just had such a lovely time.
Oh, I love hearing that. Yeah, I know. I think that that's probably the biggest mistake that I'm seeing as I'm doing my consultations or itinerary reviews is people trying to just pack everything in because they have the mindset like this is a once in a lifetime trip and we got to do all the things. And it just looks so stressful. Like when I'm seeing it written down, I'm like, there's just not enough time to eat or drink or use the bathroom or whatever because it's like go, go, go and photo stops and trying to do all the attractions and they want to go to 5 beaches in a day, but that only gives like a couple minutes at each beach. And it's a little insane. And so I think that you definitely did it the right way of having that intentional downtime just to let people relax a little bit. And then when they are doing the attractions, when they're at Kahuku Farms or Kualoa Ranch, they can really be present and they can really have the energy and the stamina to just like fully appreciate the adventure that they're on.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah. If someone only had time to visit one island based on your trip, what would you recommend and why?
Well, I'm going to say Oahu.
I know.
I love it. And I know a lot of people, like, I feel like a lot of people say Maui, and no shade to Maui at all. Obviously, Maui is beautiful.
Right.
I feel like Oahu is really special because you have, obviously I'm biased to the North Shore, but like these beautiful beaches, it just feels like it's kind of your own natural Hawaii, but you're still close enough to things. Like Island has like 3 Costco's,
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Like you were really accessible to things and so many world-class attractions. It was really important to us for our kids to see Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
That felt very special. We wanted to do cultural things. We loved the Luau. I had done Polynesian Cultural Center before, but we didn't do it this trip. I didn't feel like we needed to with the Toa Luau that we did.
Exactly.
In fact, I found out that the people who run that are from the Polynesian Cultural Center. So like a lot of the activities that they do, my kids were peeling the poi and they
Yeah,
were,
yeah, yeah.
learning the koi balls and not the peeling. What is it called?
The
Oh my gosh,
taro?
the taro. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. They were peeling that with the can. In fact, they came home and
Yeah.
peeled potatoes. They're like, this would be easier if I had the can. Like, I didn't know why. Sorry, you have to use the potato peeler.
I
That's what we
know.
have. So, yeah, like I think Oahu is really, especially with kids, it
Yeah.
just has a good blend of things to do, and you can feel like you're far enough away. Oh, and it was really fun. They filmed stuff all the time at the North Shore, so we saw
Yeah.
like film crews a couple of times. Like Jason Momoa we didn't see him, but like
Right.
he was there filming
Totally.
things. Like, it was just really fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun things to see. Not too crowded, just very laid back, and we loved it.
Oh, that's awesome. So will you be going back to Hawaii? And if so, what's on your Hawaii bucket list for next time?
Absolutely, we'll be going back. I would love to go to Kauai. I don't know if you can tell, I like love the green. I'm like
Yes.
anything like jungly. I kind of feel like that's where I want to go. I also, I want to see their beaches because is it like they have more like the rock beaches? Is that right?
They do have some rock beaches. I think you guys would really love going up to the North Shore. You can take a little shuttle up there, and then they have a wonderful beach up there, but also there's some hiking. And you don't have to go very far on the hike to get some pretty epic views of the Nepali coast. Kauai is also where they filmed most of Jurassic Park. So
Yes.
your kids would
Yes.
probably geek out over that. So I would definitely like rewatch the movie again before you go. There's definitely some places where you can see some of the filming sites there. And it's a lovely island. And my mom lives on Kauai, so that's the one we go to a lot. And it is just really stunning, great food options. It's just, I think your family would totally dig it.
Yeah. I think that's kind of next up on our list. Like that's where I would like to explore next.
I love that. And then finally, can you sum up your trip in just 3 words?
That's hard, Marcie.
I know.
Amazing, rejuvenating, and aloha.
Oh, I love those are great words to summarize a Hawaii vacation. I love that you did such a cool mix of adventures, activities, cultural things, food things, and just like resting and relaxation and that family time, because we all know like this window when we've got younger kids is pretty short. And so it's really nice when everybody is having a good time and can enjoy those family moments together and make some pretty cool core memories.
Yeah, it was such a special trip. Like I'll always treasure it.
I love that. This was such a fabulous conversation. Thank you so much, Kim, for joining me today. If this episode was helpful, please subscribe and rate this podcast. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to Hawaii Travel Made Easy. I'll see you next time. Aloha.